We begin our bulletin here. The City of Tshwane is lashing out at Eskom. It says the utility is trying to tarnish its reputation by saying it owes 1.6 billion rand. The city says it has paid almost 500 million and that figure should be 1.1 billion rand. Moreover, it says it continues to make daily payments to reduce the debt. But Eskom says it can't deal with the erratic payments from the capital. It also says it's rejected a proposed payment arrangement and will now approach Treasury. Let's get more from Tshwane's Finance MMC, Peter Sutton. Thank you so much for your time, Peter. We do appreciate it. Let's just speak about how much is actually owed to Eskom from Tshwane.
Good afternoon. The total amount for the month of August was 1.6 billion, of which we have paid 500 million, and the amount due payable still is 1.1 billion.
Okay, so why is there no coordination, perhaps, if that's the word, with Eskom and the city about how much is actually owed here? Because Eskom is constantly sending out notices that Tshwane is not keeping up with its payments.
That is correct. Because of our liquidity situation, we have over the last few months not paid on the due date when we were supposed, but we do pay within 30 days. And I can't answer for the fact that Eskom or that there will be no coordination. We liaise with Eskom daily. We make payments to them daily. And we keep the communication channels open with them. So it will be very difficult for me to answer from their side why there are no coordination, as you allude.
Okay, you've spoken about the fact that you are unable to make payments as soon as you would like to. Why is that the case? Is it because you are waiting for residents to pay you, or what is the cause and delay here?
Thank you very much. The major cause of the delay is the liquidity deterioration of the City of Tshwane that took place from 2020, where we don't have sufficient cash reserves to manage the shortfall or the timing difference. Of course, there's a value chain disalignment with Eskom wanting payment within 14 days, but on average, our residents pay us within 30 and 60 days. And we are doing what we can to change that payment culture. But at the moment, due to the fact that we get late payment, we don't have cash reserves, and we don't qualify for short-term loan funding, as companies or organizations often would breach that gap. We land up in this liquidity issue where we pay late on our Eskom account.
Is this liquidity issue something that we should be worried about? You're saying that the city does not have cash reserves. Why is that the case?
Well, basically, if you go back to the year of 2020, during the time of lockdown and various other aspects, there was a period where the city was placed under administration, which the courts later overturned. There was a payment levels dropped. We know what happened with the economy. We know that there were some other factors that caused people to be in a position where they couldn't pay. But the expenses didn't change, and that depleted the cash reserves of the city. So for that year, with the administration process, which was later overturned by the courts, and COVID, the city incurred a 4 billion rand loss or deficit in the financial statements for that year, and that depleted a lot of the cash reserves. And of course, that culture of non-payment persisted from then. It's as low in some cases as 60% on the current month accounts, and it should be at about 93, 95%. And to change that culture will take a bit of time. We're not going to fix it in a month. That's why I'm back here with you from last month when we also paid late. And unfortunately, we can't turn this liquidity situation within a month. It's going to take some time. Your question to me also was, should we be worried about it? Well, we certainly are. And that's why we have already engaged National Treasury. We have a monthly payment plan that we revise monthly with them to help us get through this time. As we stand, we have an unfunded budget, and National Treasury is very well aware of that. And we take this and treat this with the seriousness we should in the City of Tshwane, and doing what we can to fix this. Thank you.
Okay. So are you heading to National Treasury to ask for more money, or what is the situation there?
Well, National Treasury won't necessarily give us more money, but I think what will help is if government pays us the money that is owed to us. So that's one of the aspects we're constantly engaging on, and government departments. But I think the payment plan that I'm alluding to is simply a voluntary payment, a financial recovery payment strategy that we revise it with Treasury. One has to acknowledge that Treasury has a lot of expertise. They're used to situations like this. They've seen it all before. And they've got people with great expertise that can assist and help. And that's why we're engaging them as well, to be open with them and to put a plan on the table that can. We've done all the other basics. We're doing what we can to recover. We've got a lot of intervention programs. And we also have incurred quite a major cost reduction strategy in the City of Tshwane to help us through this time. And we believe we are heading in the right direction if we look at the figures.
Okay, we're not talking about small change, though. I mean, 1.6 billion rand in debt is definitely not small money. This is a lot of money, and you're speaking about payment plans. Do you ever think that you would, in the short term, be able to pay this off? And I'm going to link it to the question of residents being rather concerned that the city is in such debt, while it links back to them because you receive late payments from residents or businesses. Are you confident that you are going to be able to pay this money back in the short term and that it will not affect residents?
Absolutely, we are. One has to put it in perspective. The City of Tshwane has not had, and we don't have, any debt owed to Eskom older than 30 days. The longest we've taken to pay our account was 29 days. This month, we aim to pay that in a shorter period, so less than 29 days. And I think there is, we will enter a period now, ma'am. I should maybe just put it in perspective. During the winter months, the accounts are traditionally very high. So when we go into spring and summer now, that account will halve. So on average, our accounts will be 800,000 Rand a month. And that from our current increase in liquidity that we're seeing. So from the intervention programs we have done since January, we have seen a steady increase in the monthly cash collection of the city to the tune of about 600-700 million Rand sustainable income more. And we believe that will help us. When we go into this period now, we believe we will be in a better place and start making the right, making payments on time in many cases.
I want to ask you lastly, MMC, about the allegation, be it from other political parties, about the mismanagement of funds, and the reason why the City of Tshwane is in this liquidity crisis is because of mismanagement of funds from years ago. Is this something that you are aware of?
Well, look, I think there is it's very questionable how that 4 billion Rand deficit was put up, and one can maybe from a financial management perspective ask questions about that. But I think, we've received the Auditor General's reports. There has been cases, certainly, forensic reports and so forth, that indicate that there are cases to answer for. In terms of recovery and for mismanagement of funds. We're well aware of that. But I think in general, the Auditor General has not pointed out major significant mismanagement of funds over the last couple of years in the City of Tshwane, except for those forensic audits. I think the main issue that the Auditor General has pointed out, ma'am, is the lack of implementation of the policies, like the credit control policy, and other aspects like that. And I think that's been a failure on the city side. And, if one has to be honest, one could put that on the door of financial mismanagement as well, because the revenue wasn't collected. But we are improving that now. We are implementing those policies since I came into office, and we're doing what we can to fix the situation.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, and we'll definitely be checking in with you because the notices from Eskom are rather concerning. But thanks for joining us and clearing that up.